Hey, what's going on, Boom Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Every time I log on to Instagram or I check Reddit or I check something like that, it's just there's so many stories and so many different instances of cards and products and things exploding, just selling out, a whole bunch of different things people weren't previously interested in, just all of a sudden having a lot of value. I would say some of the things that are doing that did have interest. There's a lot of PSA 10s that are kind of hiking up in value a little bit. There's a lot of different cards and alternate arts that are now all of a sudden going straight back up to the moon or all that stuff. What it heavily reminds me of and what it looks like to me, and I've had experience with this, was the Japanese market boom, where it just really seemed like every Japanese alternate art card and even some of the full art trainers were just exploding in price to ridiculous astronomic numbers, and people for the most part accepting it, because if they had a line to get said product, if they had a line to get said thing, they were basically fucking guaranteed to reap the benefits from that in the future. Even if they didn't get said card, even if they didn't get like the big card from the set, they could sell the boxes and the product for a crazy marked up value in order to sell people possibly getting that card. You know, a lot of things push from that, and the Japanese market took a long time to recover. It took a very long time for it to be able for people even in Japan to get Japanese cards, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot of that stuff now. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of things happen like that with English. We're seeing very similar PSA 10 prices across the board for a lot of stuff, like Giratina V. Like, that was one that I saw. That's always been a very popular card, but the sales for that lately are kind of matching what some of the Japanese ones were whenever that was at its all-time height. Now, that was a card. The Giratina V is fantastic, but even in Japanese, man, that was like a $700 card raw at one point. And I really do think people forget how fucking crazy the Japanese market was. It was insane. I took a break from actively collecting and opening boxes for a little bit. Like, I had to like get the singles where I could, and then when everything started cooling down, I played catch up. I played a little bit of that stuff. I was finally able to get the rest of the trainers from the Sword and Shield era. I was able to get a lot of the alternate arts I had missed out on. I managed to still collect, and it took a while for it to cool down, and I really do think we're going to experience what we experienced in the Japanese market over in the English market, especially with the 151 hype, the Evolving Skies, and basically anything in between those sets can experience that entire thing. We have our big ones right this second, but of course we got a bunch of speculation for other sets, such as Paldea Evolved. People are talking about Paradox Rift now all of a sudden, even though people hated the Paradox Pokemon. They absolutely hated those guys. They hated them. And now all of a sudden people are kind of warming up to it. They're pretending to like more of that stuff a little bit. I'm telling you, the art for those were always good. People's opinions about it is what changed when it comes to that stuff. And now we're seeing where people are talking about Prismatic Evolutions. And of course, we got the Rockets that's coming out. We're watching people go to stores like Costco and other places with products such as 151 or anything like that, and borderline start fighting each other over this product, just pushing out of the way, not even caring about anything, throwing stuff. The Costco video, that was the most recent experience of that. That reminded me heavily of the Van Gogh experience that happened, and that also reminded me a hell of a lot of other times where people were just like fighting over Champion's Path, Shining Fates. It was very much a COVID-y experience to me, where we had like that entire Pokemon boom where a bunch of people stepped in who didn't really know what the hell they were talking about, came in, opened a bunch of Champion's Path, opened a bunch of Shining Fates, and just called it good. Was like, yeah, we're chasing Charizard, we're chasing this, and it drove an entire hype market. Those sets have now since kind of dipped down a little bit. The hype wasn't 100% real. They still have some value, but it's looking a whole lot like that right now, and it's crazy to watch the cycle that happened in Japan. Took 2 years for it to clear up, and now we're experiencing it in English. We've already been experiencing it for, I'd say, about 5-ish, 6-ish months now. People have been slowly on that push train. 151 was very popular when it came out. It wasn't this popular. It wasn't like this shit. Like, we were still at the tail end of the Japanese boom at that time. Like, that's when Japan was all the rage. That Erica from Japan, that Erica SAR, was a $500 card, and I truly do think people forget that. It's crazy to watch. But what I want to tell y'all is I really do think if y'all are going to go, I encourage everybody to go out and try to get some deals on cards, try to get stuff. We do have collectors. We have people here who are trying to pick up cards, and like, you should still do that. You should still attempt to try to get things that you want. There's nothing wrong with, if you're wanting to get a product, trying to get it while you can. While you're doing that, just be careful, though. I've been getting a lot of comments and seeing a lot of things where there's a couple things that are happening. So this was on my most recent video. If I see somebody like that at the store, this is talking about the Costco video, by the way, I'm most definitely going to grab stuff out of their cart, and I don't even collect Pokemon cards. The comment underneath them, I don't collect either, but I'm scalping 20 of them. We checked out immediately to avoid having to claim self-defense while standing over your chalk outline. So, besides the obvious threats, besides the things like that, I don't think really too many people here are going to do anything like that. We do have some people stepping in, but the big thing, the big common denominator, and I've seen a lot of this happening in comments lately, both of these people are claiming actively they do not collect Pokemon, but they would pick up this product because of the prospect that's happening. And that's the really big thing that I think people should worry about. See, our community, like, we have disagreements on stuff. I disagree with some of the shit resellers do. I disagree with some of the investment takes. I disagree with things like that. But overall, like, people in our Pokemon community, I don't wish ill upon them. I don't wish, like, terrible things to happen. And I'm not going to push someone out of the way over cardboard. It's really not the end of the world. And there's going to be plenty of times where I can pick up singles for stuff and add it to the binder. It's not going to be just the end-all be-all if I don't grab something, okay? And I think most people here, even resellers and investors, they might be pissed off they didn't get something, but I don't necessarily think most of them would just, like, actually throw hands at somebody. A lot of people that are doing this stuff that we're watching aren't in this community, and they don't genuinely care about this stuff, and they're just picking this stuff up in order to try to make that little pokey dollar on the side. I do think some of y'all need to actually just watch out when you're going out and picking some stuff up. Like, if you're actively walking with Pokemon product or something like that, maybe just have, like, a buddy. If you're going shopping with something like that, just be very careful. Don't do anything weird. Don't just watch out for motherfuckers. Because I swear, it's the people that don't care about Pokemon at all that I swear would probably do something like that. They would. Because it's not even something they're interested in anyway, but they really, really want it. Which means there's not even any kind of intrinsic value for, like, the Pokemon franchise itself. They don't care about the actual card. They're not going to appreciate what they're doing is they're getting it to try to make some bag, and the second the bag dries out, just like the Champion's Path and all that other stuff, they're just going to fucking leave. They're just going to leave like everybody else did whenever the value dried up for Japanese. It's nowhere to be seen anymore, and no one gives two shits about the Japanese market. I like that. I'm able to actually collect what I like again, so it's a great thing. And I do think over time, the English hype isn't going to be able to be sustained. It might go a little bit longer. It might go a little less time. It might not be as crazy. It might be even bigger than the Japanese bubble. Who knows? I will say this. It's not going to be forever because it literally can't be forever. It's not one of those things that's very sustainable. At some point, someone in this place is going to give the Pokemon Company, the people that are selling this, the people that are buying this, at some point, one group of people is not going to be able to keep this sustainable forever. It's just not going to happen. Too many people are going to leave, and just certain aspects of the actual hobby are going to start fucking up because there's not balance anymore. There's going to be a crazy balance over here, and then players are going to get fucked up. The players are going to be like just pushed out of this place for the sake of an investment, and Pokemon does not want that. They want people playing their TCG 110%. They want those people in that. So if they have to, they're going to start implementing things like they did in Japan. They're going to print more of something. They're going to print something to fucking ground. Because once again, they like getting money just as much as anybody else here. It's going to be the case. Just, if you're going to go get stuff this holiday, because it's still going to be something crazy, I would just advise, be safe, be careful. There is some crazy people out there. I don't think most people in our community, even if I disagree with them, would do something to you. But we have a lot of people who are not in our community stepping in, trying to reap some of this benefit. It's happened before. I've lived through it with the COVID era. I watch people change. I watch people do some crazy shit for money. And I would really hate to see people trying to get some product, which you absolutely should if you want to. You should try your best. I would hate to see something happen to y'all over something as stupid as cardboard. I really would. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life. It's not worth fucking getting into a scrap over. It's not worth getting a criminal record over. None of this shit is. It's a hobby. It's fun. It's supposed to be something to escape from the reality of our jobs, our mundane lives, and the things we do, right? It's supposed to be like that. Don't get caught up in some bullshit over some temporary cardboard money, okay? It's fun. Everyone likes this place. Just, it's not worth fucking your life up over. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin Gang. See you later, man. It really is crazy. It's so crazy how, like, this is just the Japanese market all over again. And people said that was going to last forever. There's no reason for it to come down. Japanese is the original. Look at it now. No one gives two shits about it. It's could happen in English, too. I hope people see it.